Hello and welcome back. Today I'm flying 14 hours from Tokyo Haneda to London Heathrow with British Airways, flying on the cheapest long-haul basic economy ticket. Now on paper this sounds a great deal, £700 to fly halfway across the world, but there's the problem. No seat selection, last to board, no checked baggage, and if anything goes wrong, you're pretty much on your own. And on this flight, a lot went wrong. So the question is British Airways basic economy actually worth it, or should you avoid it completely? Let's head to Tokyo and find out. Well, that's us now back at Haneda Airport, so it's now time to go in flying British Airways check-in and check whether I can take this hand baggage or if it needs to go as hold baggage. So there's British Airways over there, so let me go and check with them in the meantime. Welcome to the observation deck here at Terminal 3 in Tokyo Haneda Airport. You can see right over all the aircraft, Terminal 3 and at other terminals. Well, you can see aircraft taxiing and taking off. If you're an AV geek or like watching planes, this is your heaven. This isn't hype. This isn't paid praise. And this definitely isn't influencer travel. This is real travel, real decisions, real consequences. I'm Martin, let's go. American Airlines are currently boarding their final passengers for Los Angeles on board the Boeing 787 Dreamliner we saw from above earlier. Haneda Airport is incredibly clean, modern and spacious. Honestly, one of the best airports I've visited to date. And of course, this is Japan, the home of Kit Kats. You can get more flavours than you can imagine. Orange Kit Kat is my personal favourite. What's yours? Drop a comment below. What's the strangest snack you've ever found in an airport? Well, we're just on the way now to boarding gate 145 for British Airways Flight 6 to London Heathrow. So after an epic time here in Japan, it's time to board British Airways and take that 14-hour flight. The Club World cabin features 42 business class seats, all converting into a fully flat 6-foot bed. World Traveller Plus offers 39 premium economy seats. And today I'm seated in World Traveller where there's 124 economy seats on this aircraft. And welcome on board this British Airways Boeing 787 Dreamliner flight back to London Heathrow. This is BA Flight 6 and it will be shortly departing at 13:05 local time, bound for London Heathrow, and we're into London Heathrow around 8:30 this evening. Together with your pillow and your blanket, you're also given some headphones here, and then you can also use this envelope to leave any last minute change for the crew to collect to help with the community fund partners around the world. So this is everything that British Airways offers in the economy service. I believe we get free drinks and we get meals on board as well. So let's see how this flight works out. It is a long 14 hours to London, but let's see how well this flight does. The downside to these seats though is the entertainment box down here. It gets in the way of your legroom, so you can't get it pinned really, but this is how it is unfortunately.
Operating this service back to Heathrow for you this afternoon. Joining me here on flight deck, sitting next to me is Senior First Officer Barney Zumbo. Because of the length of the flight, we've got 2 extra pilots on board with us, Captain Tony Rogers and Senior First Officer David. Heading up the team in the cabin is Adrian. I'm sure he'll be introducing himself and the rest of the team to you very shortly, if he's not done so already. So nicely ahead of schedule in a minute. Looks like we're all closed up. I'm just talking to air traffic control at the moment, but hopefully we'll get away a few minutes early. Once we push back and head on our way towards the runway, the cabin crew will begin the safety demonstration. be very grateful if you could just give this a few moments of your time just to familiarise yourself with this 787 series aircraft. Just a reminder, no smoking at all until we get through the terminal at Heathrow. And we do recommend that whenever you're seated, you do keep your seatbelts fastened, just in case we have to turn on the seatbelt signs, especially if you want to get some sleep, just so you have a On that note, a little bit of weather around Tokyo, so the seatbelt signs might stay on a little bit longer than usual, just while we clear out of the way of some potential bumps once we're airborne. However, fairly quickly after departure, as we head up towards Alaska, we should head in some nice smooth weather, get over the top, and it's going to take us through Alaska, northern Canada, over Greenland, down towards Iceland, through Scotland, and down to the UK in 14 hours and 15 minutes. Most of that, as I say, once we clear Tokyo, we are expecting this. On flight deck then, that's all I've got for you for now. I'll leave you in the capable hands of Adrian and the team. Any updates, of course, I'll let you know, but I hope things should be on our way fairly short.
As we build up speed racing down the runway at Haneda, I've only spent 4 days here, but it's been an incredible experience. Keep an eye out for the full Japan vlog when it drops. Around 35 minutes after takeoff, the crew came through with a bar service and pretzels. But I've got to ask, where's the British touch? The main meal, chicken and rice, was bland and greasy. The dessert was overly rich, not really to my taste. The bread roll was cold and hard, and the butter was still frozen. I actually had to use the hot milk just to soften it. If you were on a British Airline for 14 hours, what meal would you expect? And it's all relatively clean. They did have some snacks out from departure from Tokyo to take us all the way back, but the snacks were very, very limited. It was a few soft drinks and what was left over really from the meal service, so bits of crackers and stuff, nothing fantastic that would generally keep you fill up during the flight. But otherwise, the aircraft is relatively clean. Let's take a look now at this other view. And just in the same way as the last one, very small and very laid out the same. This is where things start to go wrong, and trust me, it gets worse. 2 hours after departure from Tokyo, where it's 3 PM locally, and 7 AM back in the UK, the windows were electronically dimmed. And here's the issue, there's no option to override it. So I couldn't look outside and it made filming impossible. Don't forget, if you enjoy this flight review, be sure to give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to more flight reviews. So there's a number of flight reviews coming up and a number of trip vlogs. So quite reviews from Iceland Air, Norse, British Airways, Japan Airlines, Virgin Atlantic. I've got quite a outlandish Virgin Atlantic one where they stole my content, deleted my content and refused to do anything about it. So these are all still to come up, and I've got a few more flight reviews as well, and then I've got some destination videos and things. So while I've been over in Tokyo, I've shot some there like I have done everywhere else, and I'll be sharing them with you very shortly. Remember, if anyone you think might like these videos, be sure to share them with them, and my tips might just help you have a much more comfortable flight in the future on one of the airlines I featured. Be sure to tell me what your thoughts are of British Airways. Have you flown British Airways on the Dreamliner from Japan to Heathrow, or the other way, or have you taken another long haul flight with British Airways and you want to share your opinion? Be sure to leave a comment below telling us all about your British Airways experience. Was it similar to mine? Was it better than mine or worse than mine? Well, that meal is quite similar to last time. We got a roll, we got some butter, we got beef with rice, and then we got this dessert that we had before that I didn't think was that nice actually. Left Iceland behind, and we've just got the Faroe Islands to our left with Tórshavn, where Steve Marsh has done a video there. So if you've not seen that, be sure to check out Steve Marsh's channel. It's very good for content to Tórshavn and many other places he's actually been. Throughout the flight, my in-flight entertainment screen simply didn't work properly. It kept going blank, and when it did come on, the screen would glitch and freeze repeatedly. But for the majority of this 14-hour flight, the system was completely unusable. After 6 resets, it finally powered on about 90 minutes before landing, but still didn't respond. Now flying over the UK, I can finally see the map, and despite raising it with the crew, no solution was offered. If you've ever flown long haul economy, you'll know little things make a big difference. 14 hours after leaving the runway at Haneda, we're now descending over London on final approach into Heathrow. Before I give my final score, I need to show you this, because this sums up the entire experience. On a positive side, staff were polite both on the ground and in the air. The aircraft was cleaned and well maintained. The toilets were kept clean throughout the flight, and there was a good selection of complimentary drinks in the bar. Now on to the negatives. Over 14 hours, no solution was provided for the faulty Inflight Entertainment. No working screen, no usable Wi-Fi, and windows locked in a dim mode. It made filming impossible. The only thing that felt remotely British on board was a scone with clotted cream and jam, and that cost £5.95. Legroom was tight, and after around 8 hours, this is where you really start questioning your life choices. And honestly, where was the British identity in the food or service?
Well, good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to London Heathrow. The local time here in the United Kingdom, it's 7:46 in the evening. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the fasten seatbelt signs are switched off. Take care if you open an overhead locker in case anything is moved and could fall and cause injury. You may now use your phones to make and receive calls and use all the data services on your electronic devices.
Thank you, service on today's flight. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Let's talk value. Today's basic economy ticket costs £700 one way. That's around 6 pence per mile, with no checked baggage included. For £775 you can upgrade to standard economy with 2 checked bags included. For an additional £825 on top again, you can step up to World Traveller Plus with wider seats, 38 inches of legroom, upgraded meals and priority boarding. And for an additional £2,400 on top of World Traveller Plus, or buying it solely at £4,000, you'll be flying Club World, with a fully flat bed, premium dining, lounge access and priority services throughout. So what's my final verdict on British Airways basic economy long haul? The seat was acceptable, but after a few hours it became uncomfortable. Limited legroom and forced dim windows made the cabin feel restrictive. There's a good selection available, as I seen through my seat neighbour, but mine didn't work. Glitches, freezing and ultimately unusable. Slow, unreliable and overpriced. Speeds around 1 to 2 megabytes per second when it did work. This is where British Airways stood out. Friendly, professional and efficient both in Tokyo and in London. Consistently clean and well maintained throughout the flight. Overall, I'm giving British Airways basic economy a 3 out of 5. The aircraft was clean, the seat was reasonable and the food and drinks are included, which gives it decent value for money. But it's let down by the outdated hardware, unreliable systems and a lack of engagement when things go wrong. And after flying with a number of international carriers, I have to say, I struggled to find the British in British Airways. The only thing that felt remotely British on board was a scone with clotted cream and jam, and that cost £5.95. If you stayed with me this far, I really appreciate it. If you enjoy honest, no nonsense airline reviews like this, make sure to like, subscribe and drop a comment below. And if you flown British Airways recently, I want to hear your experience. Well, I thought the service was a bit lazy, to be perfectly honest. The cabin crew came round at the start of the flight, gave us 2 drinks, then quick roll around with the meals and then the lights got dimmed until we were near Iceland. So whether we wanted to see out the window or not, that was impossible, and the cabin crew hid in the galley most of the time, which is a dear shame because otherwise it would have been a really nice flight, but it just lacked serious British Airways service. And in the catering on board I didn't see anything British whatsoever, which really surprised me because given that British Airways pride herself on being the British airline, the flagship carrier, I've seen better service at Virgin Atlantic and that's saying something. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.